Welcome to Reality with Kiki. I'm your host, Kiki, and on this channel, we discuss reality TV, celebrity gossip, and viral topics. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like our content. You can also follow us on our Facebook page. A link will be in the description box below, and we also have it linked in our bio. All right, so Love and Marriage Huntsville. We start out this episode with Maurice and Kimmy. And they go see this plot of land that Maurice has purchased. In Kimmy's mind, they are going to build a house for themselves. Like, this is great because, as far as I remember, she doesn't want to build a house on the land that, like, Marceau and Maurice have, purchased together where they want to build all the family houses. So she's like, oh, perfect. Like, let's get this. I love it over here. And as they continue to have conversation and look around, Maurice is like, oh, no, this is not for us. This is not a personal home. Like, we are going to build a home, a new construction home, and we're going to sell it. And I have this person in place, and I talked to Martel, and I talked to Marceau, and I talked to Uncle Mike, and, this is going to be your next step in real estate. And she is like, huh? He's like, yeah, because you got the thing going on with the flip that you're trying to get under your belt, and this could be your new construction thing. And she's just like, you making all these plans for us and saying we're going to do it together, but you don't even include me or ask me any questions. And then when things get too busy for you at work, it's like, I got to handle this case and that case. And then I am handling everything on my own. And now I have to deal with all these different people and personalities that I didn't handpick. You chose them. And she was just saying, like, we have to have better communication for these different projects that you're interested in and that you want me to be a part of. And I'm like, absolutely. Like, that's crazy to try to throw everything on her. And she also just was bringing up, like, even things with Monster, like, you're trying to you throw things on my lap, even though you are the one who said you will be committed to picking him up and dropping him off everywhere he needed to go. So, they pretty much end that conversation, and then we move on. Martel is at his mom's house, and he's there with the kids. So obviously this is his time to have the kids, and he's practicing on baby girl's hair, and mom is helping him. So his mom is like, okay, and they both like tell the kids to go outside and play so they can sit down and have a conversation. So I'm just really like, I'm not surprised, right? Like, based on the things that his mother was saying in this episode, I'm just like, you are the reason that Martel is the way that he is. And we've known that from previous episodes, but this is just really blowing me. Like, there is just no accountability, and like, just even how he was talking about, me and the guys were talking about depression in Vegas. I don't know. I may or may not be depressed, but I am willing to take some feedback from a therapist. And she's just like, you don't need no therapist. It's just like that ignorant, like, older black people who like have this mindset that like therapy is not necessary. She's like, you just need to take a break. And it's just like, no, regardless of whatever he has on his plate, Martel needs to go to therapy outside of that, because I believe he's a narcissist and he got some anger issues. But in addition to that, like, there's a lot that's going on with this divorce and having to co-parent. So why would you say something like he doesn't need to go to therapy? He absolutely does need therapy. So then she goes on to say how, like, you've been doing a lot. You've done a lot, because he said that, things have slowed down a lot. for me, but I kind of appreciate this time that I have to spend time with the kids and do different things. So she's like, yeah, because you've done a lot. And, well, she will be laying around and, Martell this and Martell that, and you will be out there working for the past 8, 9 years. And it's just like, okay, for one, what else is he supposed to be doing? He got a family to provide for. That's what he should be doing. And she had the nerve to say, you got another woman pregnant, and that don't mean nothing to me. You still did a lot. It don't mean nothing to you because you are his mother. But you basically trying to make it seem like his wife was complaining about nothing and just sitting around and being lazy when she was working right by his side and taking care of them kids. So what are you saying? So from that and from the lack of accountability, of course he's deflecting. He don't want to talk about the side baby. He don't like that talk. And he wants to bring up the fact that, oh, we had a big argument in Vegas because of the fact that I don't want the kids to know the song. And it's just like, I don't know why you are trying to save face, because regardless of whether them kids know the song or not, them older ones are old enough to Google both of their parents online and see everything that you have done. So why are you trying to play this innocent act like I want to be presented to my kids as this great man when truly you're not? So the funny thing is about him bringing that up is that when he was arguing with Melody, he was trying to make it seem like Melody was having these kids sing this song about their daddy and all of this different stuff. And just in this moment, his mother tells him, yeah, the son was around here singing the song. And I said, what you singing? And he started singing it to me. And I told him, oh, this is about your daddy. And Martell, like, gets upset because he hate that. He don't want nobody to warp the minds of his children about how they see him. So he is like, why would you tell a kid that? And she was like, you need to speak to your ex-wife about that. Why would she allow that? That's on her. And it's just like, here and again, we see where the problem comes from, Miss Marlene, because you are not taking accountability for the things that you did. You ain't have no reason to tell that boy that that song was about his father. And another thing that I find interesting about this situation is when Martell's at his mom's house, it's like, oh, I'm at my mom's house. She's a part of my village, but and you lean on her for assistance with the kids, but when Mel leans on her village, you have a problem, and she's not able to be a proper mother because she has her village watching the kids. Interesting. Okay, so Maurice sets up for Dr. Francis to come by his office, and it was supposed to be a place where he, Martell, and Marceau can, talk with Dr. Francis more freely about the things that they're going through. So Martell shows up, and they are waiting on Marceau. So Maurice decides to call Marceau. Marceau's like, yeah, I'm not coming. He's like, we're waiting on you. He's like, yeah, I'm not really into the whole therapy thing. Or at least Dr. Francis, because he proceeds to say that Dr. Francis is not really good at listening and giving feedback unless it's to women or for men who think like women. I'm like, what? Are you kidding me? No, Marcel, I think you don't like him because he calls you out and he's not on your side. And you feel like as a man, he should be on your side and listen to everything that you say because you think that you're right about everything. And I don't care if it's Dr. Francis or somebody else. If you go to therapy and you think that you are right about everything, you're never going to heal. You're never going to grow because nothing that anybody says can be right. In addition to his comments were gross. Like, we know Marcel's a misogynistic pig, but the only, for me, the only time I like it is when he getting Wanda together because she's just ridiculous. And so, despite what Marcel says, Dr. Francis shows up and he is really reading Maurice down. Like, he is getting him together. And I feel like Maurice is taking heed to the information because it's actually correct. So Dr. Francis pretty much breaks it down for Maurice, like, you're taking on a lot, and basically your job and your work is like your second wife. They have competing interests with your actual wife, and you don't put enough into your wife. You don't communicate enough with your wife, and he is really just like, wow, that's like makes everything more clearer for me, and it looks seems like that's something that he is looking to work on. And so Martel then goes to say, like, I'm agreeing with everything that Dr. Francis is saying, like, because this is something that I noticed with Mel. When she put her interests before her kids and put more time into that, um, things were not going as great, and that Mel needs to hear this more than him and Maurice. I'm like, are you kidding me? Even in this, when this therapy is supposed to be about you or the men or what, however, you are still thinking and talking about Mel. And it's like you just sat over your mother's house and talked about how you spent the last 8 and 9 years working, 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 doing so much work that you weren't really around. And a part of me feels like maybe you weren't working as much as you said you were, because you spent a lot of your time cheating. So it wasn't just you was going to work. You was spending some extra time outside of the household to be with another woman. So towards the end of the session, Martel is talking about how he has lost everything. Well, he said he doesn't want to say he lost everything, but basically he lost everything, and he's hurt behind it. And we, the people, don't feel any empathy for you, Martel, because you brought this on yourself. You didn't recognize how much your wife did for you and your business, and you took it all for granted. But anyways, they finished that, and we are going over to the Destiny race. So Letitia and Marcel have their race, and pretty much everybody comes to support whether they were running or not. And he is pretty much going on about what the Destiny race is about. I'm not really going to get into it. If you want to know, you can watch the show. But, people were very interested, and it was nice to see. Okay, so the race is over, and Tiffany wants to gather everyone around to thank them for coming to their wedding anniversary thing at the baseball field. And she goes into how, I'm not sure why every time we get together, there's an argument. So I'm like, you know what? As annoyed as I am by Tiffany, and when she was doing this before, I'm glad she's doing it to Melody, because now you can see how it feels. So she is trying to go on about that, and Destiny jumps in to tell Martell about himself. She was just like, you are passive aggressive towards Melody, and you know that you're gonna get a reaction out of her. And he's like, well, why does she need to react? And she's like, up, like, hold on, like, I'm not done. He's like, see, women ain't gonna disrespect me. I don't take disrespect from women. And it's just like, what are you talking about? Nobody's trying to disrespect you, but you don't like when somebody tells you that you're wrong, especially a woman. And so his mother thinks that she's going to come into this and try to set Destiny straight. This is between him and Mel. You need to handle it talking to Mel. And then she goes back to Destiny. That's not your husband. That's not your ex-husband. You don't need to be here defending Melody. She said, I'm not defending him, but I'm going to tell Martell about himself every time. And she's just like, you know, don't come at me because I am a mother and I'm Martell's mother and blah, blah, blah. But she's like, you weren't there, which she was not. And I'm like, you need to mind your business, old lady. And Destiny was being very respectful, because I would have dragged her right along with Martell. Like, girl, who do you think you are? So he walks away because he is feeling like, oh, my mommy is here to defend me. And it's like, this is why Martell is the way that he is. He feel like nobody can call him out and nobody can say nothing to him. So Tiffany and Lewis gets into the confessional, and they're like, Martell usually seems like he can hold his own, but when he gets around mommy, it's a different story. And Tiffany goes like, it seems like he was tucking his tail between his legs. And he was hiding behind his mother. That's why he immediately walks away, because he could have said to his mother, like, no, ma, I got this. But you wanted to run away and hide behind your mother? Are you serious? And you want somebody to take you seriously and respect you when you speak. Boy, please. But Tiffany and Lewis were being extra shady in the confessional, and I wasn't even mad this time around. Okay, so the Meemaws get to fighting. So Miss Marlene Martell's mom and Miss Vanessa Melody's mom are talking, and she's like, we need to get together when we have the kids so we can go out together, blah blah blah. Here come loudmouth Wanda coming over. Oh, hey, moms, what's going on? I've been trying to talk to Martell and Melody about getting back together, and they both is like, no, that's their business. You need to stay out of it. But I could tell from Vanessa's face when Wanda came over there, she was not feeling her. She like, what this lady doing over here right now? So Miss Vanessa is just getting into how like nobody's going to listen to Wanda because she is a walking contradiction. She say one thing, do another, and then say another thing. So she was just like, Melody's not gonna listen to your advice because you are online telling women that if they are married or messing with a married man, that they need to be getting everything that the wife is getting, basically throwing digs at the whole Martell and Melody situation. So she's like, yep, I did say that, and blah, blah, blah. And she said, this is coming from a woman who has a husband and a boyfriend. And Wanda's like, I ain't ashamed of that. And she was just like, you know what? If you trying to be starting drama, you need to go away from me with that because I don't do ghetto. That's what Miss Vanessa said. So Wanda is just as delusional as I think that she is. And she's in her confessional talking about, if you want ghetto, I'll show you ghetto. If I was going ghetto, my wig is coming off, earrings coming off, I'm kicking on my shoes because I'm about to get in your ass. And I'm just like, if you think you can take Vanessa down, I think that you got another thing coming because this lady got you by quite a bit of height. I think that she would rock your world. So, old people don't need to be fighting anyway, but Miss Vanessa basically told Wanda, you stay in Marcel and Letitia's business. You stay over there. You keep your small hands and your small brain filled with that. Wanda gonna come back with, well, you can keep your big self and your big brain and your big whatever. And it's just like, that's not really the insult you thought it was, but okay. So Wanda takes it upon herself to say that she thinks that she's doing a hell of a better job than the rest of the parents. Why? Because your daughter is still married. Um, that is not a happy marriage. But if you want to pretend that it is, just to save face, it, you could go on. If that's what you want to take credit for, girl, have at it. So Melody comes over and she's like, what's going on? She's trying to figure out what's going on. Next thing you know, Tisha is running over there trying to figure out what's going on. And it's just like, she pissed me off because, like, first of all, you know that your mother is a shit starter. Everywhere she go, there's drama. She always kicking up dirt, and it's annoying. I'm sick of her, and I'm not saying that you don't defend your mother, but you need to just take your mother and walk her away. Like, your mother literally needs a chaperone at all times because of like her messiness, her nastiness. So they trying to figure out what's going on, and Miss Vanessa's like, your mother is always putting her mouth in places where it don't belong. And here is Tisha. Oh, y'all both do that. Y'all both do that. And she's like, what are you talking about? I don't speak on you. I don't speak on your mother. Like, what are you talking about? And Melody is like, what has she ever said about your mother on social media? And she's like, they both had. And she was like trying to calm them down. So she touched Miss Vanessa. And she was like, don't touch me. So Tisha felt a little offended because Miss Vanessa called Wanda ghetto, and she's like, "We all from the country. Just because you can articulate better." And I'm like, "I'm glad you realize that because your mother can't talk worth a damn, and neither can you." So she decides that she's gonna pull her mother aside and have a conversation with her. Her mother is threatening to put hands on Miss Vanessa. I'm like, girl, you you live in a different world. She also threatened to do the same to Kimmy because Tisha's just like, oh, I had a conversation with Tisha about what you told me, and she told me it wasn't true. So I think she's recognizing that her mother got her out here looking crazy once again. And Tisha says, oh, I think I'm going to put it on inviting my mother out to events on hold. I'm like, oh, really? Because when Kimmy said it, you had a problem. But now that it's affecting you more and more in the other relationships that you have, including the one with your husband, now you are recognizing that your mother is the problem. This lady is so irritating. And obviously, like, older people are pretty much stuck in their ways, but for her to recognize that, like, she causes destruction and disruption everywhere she goes and continues to do it, well, that's just the way I am. Okay, but you're a grown woman and you need to have some self awareness and you need to stop it. It's ridiculous. But that was the end of that. It was good tonight. You guys let me know what you thought about this episode in the comments below and who you think would win a fight against between Wanda and Vanessa. And I will speak to you next time.